What's going on, guys? Dorko back again.
Hey everybody, Razbowski here.
And today we're actually going to talk about the Five Nights at Freddy's movie and what we would like to see in the film, our ideas, what do we think Scott's going to do, all that jazz, all that lovely news what we've just received last night for us, and especially on Raz's birthday as well. It's incredible.
Jeez, what a birthday present, Scott. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. What an exciting thing. The fact that a Five Nights at Freddy's movie has been confirmed. Not only that, but it was on my birthday, so what a sweet gift from Scotty. But
oh god!
Just what was your initial impressions of the movie? I could have shat myself, but just seeing a couple of people sent me Twitter links and they were like, Raz, you got to go and check this article out. And then Dorko sent me a Skype message saying, have you checked your email? Went and checked it and saw that I had an email from Scott. And my heart literally started pounding so damn hard to confirm that there was a Five Nights at Freddy's movie. It was amazing. It was absolutely fantastic.
Yes. As soon as we received the news, me and Raz have been saying, oh, what's going to happen, what we're going to get, what the film's going to be about. So we decided to actually make a video about it to share our ideas with you guys.
Yeah, because there's so many different angles the film could come at, because it's not going to work in the same way as the games are, because you're obviously just sitting in watching the cameras. So what we've been talking about is that it's going to come from the lore point of view. It has to come from the lore point of view, with the story of the Purple Man and how the children have been brutally killed, and then they go their souls get put into the animatronics, and being able to see that story play out in potentially full over, say, 90 minutes, I would really like that. Just to see it from beginning to end might be quite interesting.
Yeah, so what me and Raz was talking about was a timeline type of idea. So, like Raz says, we get the lore of the story, how the murderer killed the kids, so maybe at the start of the film or between the mid of the film, we get the murderer chasing after the kids around the pizzeria. That would be really cool. And the horror of it as well, it would be really scary, and it would be awesome if we didn't see who the Purple Man was until the end. So we just see a shadow figure chasing the kids, and then we see the kids shoved into the suits, and we see the blood seep into the animatronics to show it's now possessed by the kids. And then like we get something saying a few months later, and then the woman notices that the blood and mucus are coming out of the animatronics, and then it gets shut down, and then an investigator comes and starts to investigate what's going on, and then he realizes that the animatronics are now possessed. It would be cool. I'd like to see, because like Raz said, we're not going to get just someone sitting in an office doing absolutely nothing for the whole film. I'd like to see a clip from that. Do you think there'll be a clip of it, maybe like a 5-minute film bit where we actually see the night guard and he gets wrecked by Freddy? That would be cool.
Potentially, because I think that would be a nice little Easter egg, or like a sort of callback to the game, because I mean, this whole film is based off of the game, so having just a little, maybe the investigator or whoever's there just looks at the cameras are still functional. You look at them 1 minute, they're just on the stage, the next minute they're all staring up at you, directly at the camera, because that would be in itself just
that would be cool.
Just a simple
scary
jump scare. Yeah, it'd be a simple, effective way for the audience to immediately think, holy shit, these robots are real, and bad stuff's gonna happen.
Yeah, the thing what we've got to remember, folks, is that this film is for us fans of Five Nights at Freddy's, but Warner Brothers has to try and get other people who don't know who Five Nights at Freddy's is into the film. So we all know how confusing Five Nights at Freddy's is, so they're going to have to come up with a really good story where other people who haven't played the games will understand the story. So we was thinking, like, it needs to be simple, because it's very complicated. So
It has
we'll
to be,
just have to wait and see.
yeah, it has to be shown so that it's universal. You have to set up the story well.
Yes.
You literally, maybe you don't have to show immediately how the animatronics are alive and moving about, but you have to show it at some point. Like,
Yeah, like
I hope,
like like.
I really
Carry
want, I really want it to be done cleverly, like so it's not like so in your face, because that would cheapen the whole lore and the whole story that Scott's made out of it. But it needs to be strongly hinted that if it is in fact the puppet that has given these souls to the children, we need to kind of see that hint happening quite strongly. Otherwise, people might not link it. But then again, maybe I'm just saying the whole human race is dumb as fuck.
Yeah, so we was talking about the puppet possessing the kids, like Raz just said. I've watched so many puppet films about, for example, Annabelle and Dead Silence, about puppets being really spooky. So I'd like to see the puppet in Five Nights at Freddy's have a much scarier look. Maybe they might change some features of it, make it look, I don't know, make it look a bit more human. Because to be honest, in my opinion, in the game, if I thought the marionette would be in a film, I don't think they'd keep him like that. I think they'd make him a bit more scarier, because to me, the puppet doesn't scare me at all, to be honest.
And the puppet has the potential to be the creepiest one of them, because puppets are closer to humans. And I think that's generally where the fear comes from if you watch Chucky or any of those ones like that. Seeing something like that, I think the puppet does have the potential to be the most terrifying out of them all. And it is potentially one of the most important characters, because he does give life to the rest of them. So making it look scary, but then somehow making us sympathize towards it at the end of the film would be really, really interesting to see how they could do that, because having us shit ourselves to it but then have pity for it once we find out the truth about it all would be really, really quite interesting. It'd be much more enjoyable to watch.
Yeah, because like I said, it could be a timeline situation, so it could say 1973 or something, probably before that. And we're at Fredbear's Diner, the first kid gets killed, and we see that the puppet is now possessed by the first child. And then we get another timeline saying, I don't know, is it when's the next murders? We still don't know yet, because it could be before Five Nights at Freddy's 2 or
I think that's when
after.
It's mainly suspected in between Fredbear's and Five Nights at Freddy's 2.
Yeah, we could just say a timeline saying 10 years later. And then we actually see like the other kids die, and we see the puppet being involved with it. So next we're actually going to talk about the name of the film. Me and Raz have been talking about, hold on a sec, if the film's not going to be about the night guard being in the pizzeria for 5 nights, what are they going to call it? Because you can't really call it Five Nights at Freddy's if it's not about 5 Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah, like the name has to relate back to the game in a way that people can link to it, but not so it's exclusive, again, like we were talking about before. So what me and Doc were saying was that it has to have probably Freddy or Fazbear in the title. But then you want to give it that mystery, because what did you... Doc was suggested Freddy, and just Freddy as the name, which I think would work really well, but then you've got the Freddy versus Jason thing. But again, it works nicely because Freddy is the main, or at least the face of the Fazbear chain, and you have you've got as Doc said earlier on, you've got Annabelle as well. You've got Chucky, you've got Annabelle. Just the main character, just their name as the title, and I think Freddy would work. Or if you can't have Freddy, you just have Fazbear. Might be quite interesting.
or Freddy Fazbear. You could have both, really.
Just simply as that, and people would know exactly what the film was, and it would be it's giving me goosebumps. It is.
Yeah. We also want to think about what's going to happen with the games now, because there's going to be a film about Five Nights at Freddy's. Is Scott going to make another game before the film's released? Because we know that the film's not going to be done by tomorrow. It's going to take a while. They haven't even found a writer yet. Me and Raz have estimated about 2 years, or maybe slightly less than two. Just like, it's hard to estimate, but usually films take a long time to do anyway, so...
Yeah, it's being... Because I've done like acting for TV and stuff, and just personally from the timeline between filming and it actually coming out, there's usually quite a big gap. And for TV, TV it's less because the things are usually shorter, or they have like a time limit for seasons, whereas films are slightly different. And if they've not even got writers yet, I don't know how much of it is in principle, but we're thinking 2-3 years. But that gives us plenty of time for some more badass games in which Scott can finish off the storyline. We've discussed that we don't know how much control Scott will have with the storyline now that he has what it seems he sold the rights to Warner Brothers to make the film, and if there's writers coming in, we don't know how much Scott has input wise. So this is the perfect opportunity for Scott to hopefully finish off the story as he wants to see it finished, and potentially even hype up the movie as well. So we talked about before, I think there'll be one more game. In my opinion.
More game explaining it all. One more game explaining it all.
The unfortunate part about that is I think we might have to wait a while for it.
Yes. He'll have to think about when should I actually release this game to try and keep the hype for the film as well.
But he doesn't want to leave it too long so the hype for the games has died down as well.
Yes, exactly. He's going to have to think about that. And what I was thinking about as well, like you said, Scott wants to reveal the story for himself. He doesn't want to let a film what he doesn't have a lot of rights to tell us a story what he didn't intend he wanted.
Yeah.
Because I was speaking, I said before about films, for example, like Harry Potter, and that's a really good example. How the film, Warner Brothers, again, changed some of the story parts compared to the books. So the books can be different to the film. Another really, really good one is The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead comics gave the rights to AMC to make the seasons of The Walking Dead, but the episodes are completely different to the comics. People don't die in the TV series compared to the comics and stuff like that, so they can change what they want, they can do what they want, and sadly they can't do anything about it. And that's what Warner Brothers could do. They could actually change some bits. I don't know, maybe in the game Purple Man is Mike Smith. I'm just guessing. It's just a completely guess. But in the film, Phone Guy could be the murderer. They could change who the murderer is, and I don't think Scott would want that, obviously. So we think he's going to make a game, completely tell the story about what he wanted to, and then the film's going to come out, and then
then that'll tie it all up in a nice little bow. If I was Scott, I would definitely want to finish the story myself, because he obviously knows where everything's going. He's built this fantastic story and lore, and that we're all eating up because it's so delicious and high in fiber. But I would want to finish the story how I envisaged it, and not let, because as you say, film companies will change the story to make it more dramatic for the screen, because I'm sure there's parts of Five Nights at Freddy's game that won't translate over, as we talked about, sitting in an office for 6 hours for 5 days. It's just not going to work. That just won't work as a film. Nobody will watch that. So they'll have to completely change it, whether that's teenagers stumbling across an abandoned Fazbear pizzeria and then decide to get destroyed by Freddy or Golden Freddy, or maybe even only one of them. We might not even see all the characters in it.
Yeah.
So if Scott wants to finish it in a way he wants to, we'll see at least one more game. I think one more game will finish it all off, tie it all up in a neat bow, and then we'll have the hype ready for the movie, and I think that'll be a perfect way to advertise them both and keep us going for another couple of years.
Yeah, because like I said, it depends what animatronics he wants in the film, because I don't see the toy animatronics being in the film, to be honest, because we've realised now that the toy animatronics aren't possessed by the kids, kind of like they've been something's happened to them, but we know that 6 kids have been killed. So the toy animatronics aren't really involved now because we know that they're not like, you know what I mean. Also, it will be too much confusion, you know. Toy animatronics, old animatronics, freaking updated ones from Five Nights at Freddy's 1, Springtrap, stuff like that. I don't think it will all be in the film. I think they'll just stick to the main characters for this film.
Yeah, it won't translate over. Like you could potentially, I can either see it being Golden Freddy on his own, the main cast on their own, or with the puppet, or just the puppet and Golden Freddy. They're the only ones we're going to be seeing. We won't see any others. I don't think we'll see Springtrap. Maybe if they wanted, if they felt cocky enough or confident enough that the film
ended, or something like that. I don't freaking know.
Yeah, if they felt confident enough with the writing, you might see Springtrap at the end.
Yeah, like how he died, like the murderer dies. Do you know what I mean? We'll have to wait and see, though.
But I am hyped. I am hyped.
I think, like you said, I think it's going to be the main cast and the puppet. Yeah. I think that's what he's going to do.
I think so. That's the way I would go. I can't wait for the teasers and the trailer and anything that comes
trailer.
out. Oh, you thought the game trailers were going to be good. This is going to be a big one when this one comes out. I hope I'm at home when this one comes out.
Yeah. I mean, I can't wait for the trailers, and it's going to be a lot of hype. It's going to be like the hype of the games again. We can talk about the trailer and what's going to happen and stuff like that. It'll be really cool.
I hope they don't CGI them because it'll look so much scarier if they're actually robots.
Real.
Yeah. They have to be real. CGI won't work.
Oh. Yeah, I've also thought about it as well, by the way, about the, like, horror films are very hard to do, let's be honest. I've seen so many reviews on horror films being bad, like, oh, the jump scares are too cheap, cheap jump scares, that's what they call them. But the thing is with these animatronics, we know that they don't need like cheap jump scares. You can see them creeping around, like you said, looking at the cameras, they stare at the cameras and stuff like that. That isn't cheap jump scares, that's horrifying, that's horror.
Yep.
So I'd like to see what would happen with the animatronic. So we're just going to get silly jump scares from nowhere, or are we actually going to see them possessively, slowly creeping towards somebody, and it was going to be cool.
It's gonna be good. I'm sure. I have faith in Warner Brothers and the writing and stuff. That
they know.
Like, this is a huge company. This is not just some indie company or something that's picked up. This is a massive company that's putting in big bucks for this, most likely. So I'm sure we'll get something pretty good.
I was thinking about the producers as well for it. And the producer of it has made films like The Grudge and The Ring.
Well, they're scary.
And he also produced the Lego Movie. So we know how good he is. He's a really good producer. Really, really, really good. He's done How to Train Your Dragon, The Woman in Black.
So he's done
so many.
So he's got like experience of a wide variety of things. So they're not pissing about on this. They've got big people in to do this. So it does.
And also, it's also been updated on the wiki about Roy Lee's films, and Five Nights at Freddy's is on his to be announced films now on the wiki. Wow. So it's pretty interesting.
Oh, the hype is.
So he's definitely involved in it. Definitely.
The hype is real.
But he's made a lot of horror films, and a lot of these horror films have been really scary, which is good and very successful. I mean, even if they're not horror films, he's been massively successful in the Lego Movie. That's like one of the biggest films, like to this day. So we've got really good producers in it.
Yeah, definitely. It's very exciting. I just, to be announced so early without any teaser information is gonna suck. It's gonna be ages before we're gonna hear some other stuff. I suppose we'll get the official announcement from Scott at some point soon, I'm sure we'll get some sort of official press release from Warner Brothers maybe at some point soon with some kind of picture, and I'm sure we'll get a poster mock-up at some point soon as well that'll show us at least what direction they're going in, and then I think we'll have to wait at least a year and a half until we get a trailer.
like we always say, we always want your ideas, folks. So if you've got any ideas what you think the film's going to be about and what you think is going to happen in it, and names, we'd like to see names. What names would you like to give the film Five Nights at Freddy's? We've already said we think it could be Freddy or Freddy Fazbear or Fazbear, maybe just Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, who knows? Let us know in the comments.
And if you enjoyed today's video, then please hit that like button. It really is appreciated, whether you're watching this on my channel or over on Docos's. And if you're on my channel, make sure you go and check out Docos's channel, because he is a fantastic bastard and does great Let's Plays of a wide variety, including all the Five Nights at Freddy's news and speculation.
Oh. Same with Raz on my channel. You know who he is. We like best friends, so we're like two peas in a pod.
One hell of a fantastic British pod.
Okay, guys, I hope you're really hyped for the film like we are. We'll see you all next time.
See you later, guys.